That was The Cure and Friday I'm in Love. I'm joined by Cairnduff. Good morning, Cameron.
Ian, thank you so much for having me.
No problem at all. So, you're obviously, we know who Mum and Dad are.
Probably more famous than I could ever become. My dad Ronnie and my mum Leslie.
Yeah.
Two party freaks of the island, but also
that's the word I was thinking.
It's never normally the achievements that they remember. It's the amount of bottles of wine they consume.
Exactly. I think if there's a direct line between barnstormers and their house.
I believe so. I believe that they phone people up prior to my dad arriving just to make sure that the island doesn't go completely dry. But strangely, I mean, I actually don't drink.
Sorry?
I know. I mean, trust me, when I'm on Alderney week, and I'll go for it. But it's just not my. It's just
not your bag.
It's not my bag.
Wow.
I'm that generation, Ian.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. My sons go through that period. They not drink. It's like, okay. So you go, let's go to the pub. Yeah, okay. What are you gonna have? I'll have an orange juice. What? Okay, there we are.
We're terribly boring.
Not that I'm known for drinking much. Anyway,
or the island at all.
Yeah, exactly. All right, after this, I'm going to the pub. So, Cameron, you're a filmmaker, obviously, and you've been on the island making films quite a number of times, and you've recently done one for AEL.
That is correct. Yeah, I guess in the UK, we have a huge marketing industry, and they call it influencer marketing.
Yeah.
Well, on an island of 2,000 people, it doesn't take a lot to be what they call an influencer. And so essentially, what these videos that I make is storytelling, and it's trying to, I guess, just communicate ideas very, very quickly to the people. And I know that radio existed for maybe 100 years. Is it 100 years? But video actually is video in our pocket is very, very new, particularly the fact that on social media, you can publish a video and within seconds, an entire island kind of watch that video. So that's kind of, that's been, just my fun. I've just done that as a passion.
Okay.
My main day job is in video marketing. I actually make videos for other people.
Okay.
But a few, last year, James Lancaster approached me and said, listen, Cam, seen how you've made videos on Alderney, we need to get across a message, and we figured you'd be the best person to help. And obviously, straight away, I said, "Well, listen, James. Like, I don't really make these videos for for anyone else but me.
So they're not. It's not a commercial thing. You just do it for fun.
I just do it for fun. But I said, if I'm going to do it, then you're going to have to give me the complete creative direction about what I do it about. And in fairness, James said, "Well, okay, fine. Follow us along. Follow what we're doing at Alderney Electricity." And sort of the road to renewables is something that I've been helping to document for them.
Okay.
And our recent trip to Gear, a small island in Scotland, it's got some wind turbines, and they're able to sell some of that power back to the grid. We interviewed some of the residents, and we saw sort of how they've dealt with it all. I went there with complete lack of understanding about any of this. By the way, I still don't know anything about any of this.
But you shot a good film.
And I think the point is that just being invited there just shows the openness of Alderney Electricity to have these conversations. And to be honest with you, the one thing I have learned is that I know nothing about renewable energy. I'm not an expert in the slightest. So when I listen to experts who really know this stuff, and then I go onto Facebook and I see people commenting about this stuff, I'm like, oh my God, can we just stay in our lanes?
Yeah, exactly.
But we have to have that conversation. We have to have that dialogue, and I hope these videos will just sort of help them along.
And when's James putting it out there, or what was it specifically for? Was it to use to show to the islanders, or what was the purpose of the video?
Yes, this particular video about the island of Gear was to show other communities around the world that have followed similar paths. Obviously, look, I was just as shocked as you when I saw pictures of wind turbines on Fort Albert.
Yes.
So much so that I had to, I phoned up James. I was like, you didn't tell me about this.
Yeah.
And obviously
I could be tarred with this brush. Yeah.
Well, I guess I was just like, well, so what's the deal there? And I think this is it. When you're in the trenches, as it were, you don't think about, all the other people that need to know about these things. So you just go ahead and do things.
Yep.
But on this island, that's not how we want to work, is it?
No, you've got to be consultative. And it's always best to be consultative. It's like when you're selling something, you plant the seed that it's the customer's idea, and they say, "Oh, what about if you do that?" And then the job's half done. Whereas if you say, "This is what we're going to do," then you're in trouble.
Well, I have to say, I have learned a little bit about renewable energy, and I think that James and the Alderney Electricity team have learned a little bit about storytelling, and particularly around authenticity, because that was the one thing that I think at the beginning James thought he had to give me a script or he had to give me something to say.
Yep.
And I said, no, dude, we just film everything.
Just going to chat.
We just
do
chat.
it, and then you cut out the bits you don't want. Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
And what's James going to do with it? Is it been shown to the islanders already? Or?
It has, yeah. I mean, within 24 hours, it had 2,000 views.
Okay.
As far as I can see, that's pretty much everyone on Alderney who's got to watch this video. There are going to be a series of these videos, and I'm very lucky in the sense that Alderney Electricity have commissioned me to make these videos now. So
perfect.
I get a reason to come and visit mum and dad.
Excellent.
And I get to do something that I believe in. And then just sort of on that note, I've also didn't want to just do it about Alderney Electricity. So I'm currently doing one about the Cairnduff care home.
Yeah.
I've been doing one's about a number of different things on Alderney, and with that, I'm learning so much about this island I just didn't realise before.
And then you've got sunrise written on the piece of paper in front of me.
Yes, so in September last year, we brought a film crew over to Alderney to shoot a short film called Sunrise.
Yep.
This is essentially a film about a cold calling scam artist that saves a life for suicidal victim.
Oh, I remember. Yes,
it's a drama. It's a high intensity drama. We shot for 5 days on Alderney on the edge of the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Lynn Morris for giving me the state's approval for putting a young woman on the edge of a cliff. I believe the email said something like "do it at your own jeopardy" or something like that.
Okay.
But I realised then that actually there's a lot that can be done from a filmmaking point of view on this island if you know people.
Yep.
As we know in the past, there's been filmmakers that have come to this island and maybe they haven't asked for permission or they've told a story that people aren't happy with.
Had an ulterior motive.
That's it, yeah. And so I've just sort of, on the back of making this short film, I've decided to launch Film Alderney. And Film Alderney is a non-profit organisation. Myself and Charlotte Newton have literally just started it. And it's essentially a website. It's a directory of over 200 locations that you can see on Alderney, and the aim is that TV film companies, location managers, content creators, travel influencers, bloggers, whoever, we can actually start reaching out to these people and saying, hey, look at Alderney, if you want to come and film here, come and talk to us.
It's a great place to go.
We'll basically help you, and if you need help with accommodation or to talk to the right people, then Film Alderney can be there for people. On that note, Ian, if you're interested in becoming one of our volunteers, we need people that, have enthusiasm for this island. And when you have a content creator arrive here or you have a filmmaker arrive here, can roll out the red carpet physically, let me take you on a tour.
I think that's one of the things is it needs enthusiasm because there's lots of people, or there are a number of people who like to keep it the way it is. And, they don't want that to happen like that might be. But for this island to thrive, it's got to move forward and it needs enthusiastic volunteers to help that happen.
Absolutely. So this is the ask. Obviously, if anyone is listening and they're interested in filmmaking and they want to sort of help create this organisation, then I think the next few years can be really interesting. We might have, who knows what will happen. We could have Downton Abbey filming on Alderney. We could have the next Game of Thrones. But the idea, of course, of this is that we have to be proactive about it. And one thing that I was really alerted by when I was making a video about the Cairnduff care home was that in 2000, the demographics of this island was about 24% over 65.
Yes.
And today, that's at 72%.
Yeah, it is.
65.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's the oldest population in the world.
Is it?
Per
head of population.
You can't squeeze more older people onto one island as you can on Alderney.
Good Lord.
So on that note, it's like, yes, there are issues all around us, but those issues will multiply year on year on year.
Oh, yeah, unless we bring new people in. Yeah. And that goes back to the conversation I had with Mark about connectivity, etc., etc.
Absolutely.
And how do people get in touch with you if they want to get involved in Film Alderney?
So that's a very good question. camcairnduff@gmail.com. You can send me an email and we can have a chat.
I'm pretty sure if you search your name on Google, it would go straight to you.
Do you know what? I'm part of the modern generation. You can just hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever you want to do these days.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when, us old people, when we have to go out and find a new partner in life, back in the day, I'm talking 20 years ago, the first thing you do was chuck their name into Google and see if it comes up.
That's it.
Whereas now, it's impossible to avoid your name being on Google.
Ian, you got my entrepreneurial juices flowing now because I think you're suggesting a dating app on Alderney. Is Riduna dating going to become a thing?
No, I've got way too much trouble already. I don't need any more. Thank you very much.
But this is it. Like this island is actually so well suited for a retired community.
Yep.
And to think that there's more people with more time on their hands to do things.
Yep.
It just needs a little bit of leadership and champions.
Yeah.
One thing that my dad's always taught me, having run Alderney Week and been involved in so many things, is that in order to make things happen, you just got to go and do it.
Exactly.
And sometimes people drag their feet or they ask permission and stuff like this, and
or they wait for other people to do it, and then you tag along afterwards.
That's it. And I honestly, if there's any champions out there who are doing things on Alderney right now, I would love to help you in whatever way I can, whether it's to help make a video, to explain what you're trying to do, because it's really important that we kind of not just get out their way, but we support those people.
Exactly. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for coming in. I'm off to the pub after this, and you're going for an orange juice somewhere.
I will be going for a swim.
What, in the sea?
In the sea,
It's
absolutely.
10 degrees.
Yes, yeah. Well, it is 10 degrees, yes. But, obviously we don't have a swimming pool yet. So,
well. It's just in between doing all of this, you could build Mum and Dad a swimming pool in the back garden.
Absolutely. And a cinema and a marina while we're at it.
Yeah, and a runway.
Oh, yeah, on the runway.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for coming in. I will hit a tune, and I will be back after this.
RidunaRadio.com.
Broadcasting from the heart of Alderney.